Thank you for choosing the Bascom-Turner Gas Explorer, the most advanced, easy-to-use CGI on the market today. This video, together with the operating manual, will give you a full description of the Explorer. The interactive DVD format makes it easy to move from section to section on the disc. You can always jump to a specific segment you want to see. When you are starting out, we recommend that you watch the entire DVD from the beginning. This way you will get the most out of your Explorer. The Gas Explorer measures natural gas from 20 parts per million to 100% gas. The Explorer can be used indoors and outdoors and has 3 modes: monitor, track gas, and bar hole. The Explorer is intrinsically safe. Optional sensors to detect other gases make it suitable for safe entry, which further enhances its versatility and value. An intrinsically safe pump automatically samples ambient air, flue gas, or bar hole gas. The Explorer also self-tests its pump, sensors, and battery on a regular basis. At only 24 ounces, the Explorer is highly portable. Simple, 3-button operation makes it easy to use, even when wearing gloves. The large backlit LCD shows everything you need on one screen. Calibrating your Explorer is easy, with built-in software for standalone or docking calibration. The Gas Explorer makes record-keeping simple and secure by automatically storing up to 24 calibration records and at least 1 month's worth of gas readings stamped by date, time, and mode of operation. A built-in USB port downloads to a standalone or network PC. Let's take a look at what's included with your Explorer. In addition to firmware for automatic calibration and docking, each Explorer comes with standard accessories: a metal gooseneck probe, a dust and water block filter, a set of C-sized alkaline batteries, a shoulder strap, and an operating manual. An instrument case is optional. The primary dust and water block filter must remain in place between the probe and the detector, no matter what probe is used, and even when an additional special filter is used. Before turning the detector on, be sure that the primary dust and water filter is in place between the detector and the probe you're using. When the media in the primary filter turns brown, usually in a month or 2, replace the filter. The Gas Explorer has 3 push buttons. The function of each button is shown on the screen and changes depending on what the machine is doing. To start up the detector, press the upper left button with the international symbol for on. The screen will light up and show the model number of your Explorer. You will also hear this sound. The screen will then tell you what kinds of gases are detected, followed by a screen warning you that other dangerous gases may not be detected. On this screen, you will notice the word USB in the lower left and SN in the lower right. If you press the left button, you will enter the USB connection mode. If you enter this mode, you must turn the machine off to exit. If you press the right button, the serial number of the machine will be displayed. To continue, press the middle button. If you do not press either button, the Explorer will proceed to the next screen, which displays the time and the date. From this screen, you have the option to access a help menu by pressing the left button under the word Help, or to edit the time and date by pressing the right button under the word Edit. On the next screen, the Explorer will ask you to please ensure clean air. It's important that you first turn on the instrument in clean air, for example, outdoors. The next screen will ask you to check the pump by blocking the intake. Completely block the opened end of the probe with your finger so that the Explorer can test its pump. After a moment, it will tell you that the pump is okay. If the instrument does not detect a block within 40 seconds, it will say, "No block, check probe." Make sure the probe connections are tight. If after another 30 seconds a block is still not detected, the Explorer will say, "Remove probe and block intake." In this case, disconnect the probe and filter and block the detector's input with your finger. If it still does not detect a block, it will say, "Repair pump," and automatically shut down. If it does detect a block, it will say, "Pump OK," and you know that your sampling system was not tight. Reassemble the filter and the components of the selected probe, making sure that all connections are tight. Once the detector is in the monitor mode, check the probe by blocking the tip to display "Flow blocked" on the Explorer. If at any time you suspect a leak in the sampling probe, check the probe in this fashion. During normal operation, the detector tests the pump about once a second to ensure flow is not blocked. If it is, the screen will show "Flow blocked" and the acoustic alarm will sound. You must remove the block to return to normal operation. After the pump test, the screen will show "Calibrate" by some date, typically 30 days from the last calibration. If the 30 days have passed, you can still use the instrument by pressing "Override." Alternatively, you can initiate calibration by pressing the right button marked "CAL" on the display. Now you will enter the monitor mode, the basic work screen of the Explorer. This is the mode that you will use for much of your above-ground work. The monitor mode displays readings from all sensors. For example, if your unit is equipped with carbon monoxide and oxygen sensors, you will see readings in ppm CO, percent oxygen, and percent LEL or percent gas. In the case of natural gas, the current reading is displayed above percent LEL or percent gas, and the peak reading is displayed below. The peak reading is useful when you are testing relatively inaccessible places for gas. For example, if you are working overhead, checking air in a plenum, it may be difficult to keep the display in view. The highest reading obtained will be displayed as the peak reading. The peak reading is retained until you exit the monitor mode or re-zero the unit. The concentration of natural gas can be expressed either as percent gas or as percent LEL, which stands for lower explosive limit. For methane, the lower explosive limit is 5% gas. Thus, 20% LEL is 1% gas, 40% LEL is 2% gas, and so on to 100% LEL, which is 5% gas. Some companies prefer to keep all measurements in the same units, namely percent gas, while others prefer to use the percent LEL scale. Your Explorer is configured to conform to your company's policy. If your company uses percent LEL, the Explorer will automatically switch from percent LEL to percent gas at 100% LEL, that is, at 5% gas. The Explorer will display from 5% up to 100% on the percent gas scale. The Explorer always displays the scale it is using, either percent gas or percent LEL. In addition to your sensor readings, you will see a battery indicator in the middle of the monitor screen. This indicator is similar to that of a cell phone. When your batteries are fresh, you will see a full indicator with 3 dots. As the batteries are used, the level of the indicator drops. When the indicator is empty, you have about 30 minutes of operation before the instrument shuts down. Along the bottom, you see the screens you can enter by pressing the corresponding button. Pressing the left button marked Track gives you the option to enter either the Track Gas or Bar Hole mode. The Track Gas mode shows you readings in 20 ppm increments to help you pinpoint the source of a leak, while the bar hole mode lets you test below grade. Although there is no label in the middle of the screen, for all modes except bar holing, the middle button can be used to mute the acoustic alarm. To return to normal operation of the acoustic alarm, press this button again. Whenever a button is pressed, the backlight is turned on for 30 seconds. The backlight can be turned on continuously by pressing the middle button twice in close succession. Pressing it again twice in succession will turn the backlight off. In the lower right of the monitor screen, you will see two options, 0 and off. When you press the right-hand button below those two options, you will see a new screen with the question, Power down? If you want to power down, press the left-hand button below the word Yes. If you want to re-zero the instrument, press the right-hand button below the word 0. The screen will ask you to ensure clean air. You cannot zero this unit in a suspect atmosphere, and the unit will not let you do so. When the monitor screen reappears, you will see that the ppm CO and the percent LEL have been zeroed out. The 20.9% of oxygen is a standard reading. In the lower right corner of the screen, you will see 0 pk. From the monitor mode, press the left button marked Track to enter the track gas mode. You will see the words Track Gas on the screen and a scroll bar to indicate the machine is switching modes. As in the monitor mode, the track gas mode shows you all your sensor readings, but measures and displays gas in ppm instead of percent LEL or percent gas. The Explorer reads in 20 ppm increments, from 0 to 40,000, which is 4% gas. At 4% gas, the Explorer automatically rolls back into the monitor mode. In the lower right of the track gas screen, you will see the same two options as in the monitor mode, 0 and off. In the lower left of the screen, you will see BH, indicating that you can enter the bar hole mode by pressing the left button. To bar hole, connect your bar hole probe and any supplemental filters to the detector, making sure that the primary filter is in place between the probe and the detector. You can enter the bar hole mode in two ways. From the track gas mode, press the left button marked BH. Or from the monitor mode, press the left-hand button marked Track, and then, when track gas appears on the display, press the left button again, which is now marked BH. In either case, you will be asked to please purge with clean air. If no gas is found, the pump will stop running and you will see a display telling you to place the probe in the bar hole. If gas is found, the display will show its concentration in percent gas and will display Not Purged. The left button on the display will now be marked Auto Zero. When this is pressed, the display will show Please ensure clean air. To run the Auto Zero, press the left button marked Yes. If the Auto Zero is successful, it will return to the Please Purge with Clean Air screen, followed by the bar hole mode. If the Auto Zero finds gas, the detector will say No Go and will show which sensor or sensors measure gas. At this point, you have the option of retrying Auto Zero by again pressing the left button. If it fails again, you will be asked to run a new filament routine. Press the right button to turn the instrument off, then run the new filament routine as described in Section 3.5, Troubleshooting and Replacing Sensors. Once the instrument has been purged, you will be asked to place the probe in the bar hole. Once the probe has been inserted, press the middle button marked Go. You will hear the detector's pump motor begin to run again, and the Explorer will pump the hole for 15 seconds. While the hole is being pumped, the display will show the percentage of gas detected. If during this time you need to stop for some reason, for example if water is being drawn into the probe, press the left button to stop the pump. If you do not stop the pump, it will automatically stop at the end of 15 seconds. In either case, the display will show the peak and sustained readings. The peak reading is the highest concentration of gas detected during the measurements. The sustained reading is the average of the last 3 measurements made during bar holing. The peak and sustained readings will help locate the source of the leak. For instance, if you pull a sample with a 75% peak reading and a 0 sustained reading, you are most likely not near the source of the leak. In fact, a discrepancy of this magnitude suggests that you are probably at the edge of the leak field. You can repeat this measurement for the next bar hole, and the detector will pull exactly the same size sample and make exactly the same measurements so that you can accurately compare readings from hole to hole. You are looking for bar holes where the sustained reading approaches the peak, which suggests that the gas is quickly replenished as it is removed. As you get closer to the source, the sustained reading will increase. If, on the other hand, the peak reading decreases and the sustained reading remains low, you are probably moving away from the leak. When you identify a hole in which the sustained reading is close to or equal to the peak reading, this is your hot hole, where you would begin to dig. To shut the unit off, press the right-hand button. When you are done for the day, return the Explorer to its case. While the unit is designed to withstand storage temperatures as low as -40 degrees and as high as 140 degrees Fahrenheit, we recommend that the unit not be stored in extreme cold or heat for long periods, for example overnight. As described previously, each gas explorer comes with a set of alkaline batteries. To install the batteries in the Explorer, remove the cover at the bottom of the case and insert the battery's positive end first, as marked on the back of the Explorer. Replace the cover by inserting with the bar horizontal, pressing down, and turning 1/4 turn clockwise. The Explorer also comes with an adjustable shoulder strap. Place one clip in the bracket on the handle of the Explorer and place the other clip in the nearer of the 2 holes in the other bracket to allow the Explorer to hang flat. There are 2 holes so that you can put the Explorer over whichever shoulder is more comfortable for you. All of the Explorer's probes feature a quick connect interface requiring no tools. Pull up the metal sleeve, slide the connector onto the Explorer tip, and rotate it until it is secure, usually with a click. To disconnect, pull back the metal sleeve and pull the probe off the tip. All Explorers come with a metal gooseneck probe, which is designed to give you one-handed operation when checking meter sets, pipes, fittings, and confined spaces. The probe is flexible so you can easily check behind appliances and around obstructions. When using the Explorer for bar holing, you will need a straight hose with an attached primary dust and water block filter and a bar hole probe. Bar hole probes come in clear plastic, fiberglass, and metal and range in length from 18 to 36 inches. The most common bar hole probe is a 36-inch fiberglass probe with side holes. Side holes are useful if the end of the probe becomes clogged with mud or other material. To bar hole, you'll need to attach the straight hose to the detector and then connect the bar hole probe. Be sure that the primary filter is in place. Keep in mind that while the environment above grade is relatively clean, the environment below grade is not. You're dealing with dirt, sand, water, and other contaminants, and you may need to use supplemental filters in addition to the primary dust and water block filter. The water stopper is used in wet environments. The dust stopper is used in dusty or sandy conditions, and the heavy hydrocarbon filter is used when you suspect the presence of gasoline vapors. Your pound bar will give you a good indication of the condition below grade. The primary dust and water block filter will block water, but it will also block the flow. In this case, flow blocked will appear on the screen. Remove the bar hole probe and shake out excess water. Do the same with the primary filter. If you expect to find water in your bar hole, it's best to use a water stopper. The water stopper should be attached between the primary filter and the bar hole probe. Any water coming up the probe will collect in the water stopper. When it fills with water, the internal float will cut off the flow so that no water can pass through to the detector. Again, you will see the words "flow blocked" on the screen. To clear the blockage, hold the bar hole probe vertically and press the white release button on the side of the water stopper. You can either remove the probe and let the water run out, or you can leave the probe in place, let the water run into the probe, and then shake it out as described before. You do not have to clean the water stopper filter after every use, but you should clean it if you can no longer see the float. Unscrew the bottom of the filter, pour out the components, use a cloth or your finger to wipe out any residue, and then reassemble the components. In sandy or extremely dusty conditions, use a supplemental dust stopper, which has a built-in HEPA filter. The dust stopper should be inserted between the primary filter and the bar hole probe. Sand and silt will be captured in the dust stopper. If the dust stopper fills up with dust, unscrew the clear housing of the filter, dump out the dust, wipe out the clear housing, and reassemble the filter. The HEPA filter in the dust stopper will last a long time as long as it doesn't get wet. If it gets wet, it needs to be replaced. If you need to bar hole in the vicinity of gasoline stations, or you smell gasoline, use a heavy hydrocarbon filter to remove gasoline from the sampled gas. The heavy hydrocarbon filter uses charcoal to remove gasoline vapors. Keep the filter capped at both ends until just before use. Install the filter by screwing it into the primary filter and then attach your bar hole probe to the other end of the charcoal filter. Discard the filter after use. To use the Explorer for flue testing, you will need a flue gas probe with an NOx filter. Attach the flue gas probe with NOx filter and dust and water block filter to the straight hose, the other end of which has the primary dust and water block filter, which connects to the Explorer. Loosen the brass collar in the front of the flue probe, fully extend the retractable tip, and lock it into place by tightening the brass collar. Then, position the tip of the probe into the flue of the heat exchanger. As you know, flue gas is hot, moist, and contaminated. The probe will cool the sample, and the purple beads will remove substances that interfere with CO detection. The flue gas probe is rated for about 1.5 minutes of operation, sufficient for the detector to give you a full carbon monoxide reading. After you remove the tip from the flue, let the probe cool before you handle it to avoid burning yourself. If your unit is equipped with both a CO and an oxygen scale, you can perform what is called an air-free CO reading. Air-free CO is the AGA's recommended way to check appliances in flues. If you need to do air-free CO readings, you have to be equipped with both CO and oxygen sensors. The Explorer does the conversion to air-free CO automatically. Instead of showing ppm CO, the display will show AFCO, meaning air-free. CO measurements on an air-free basis will be higher than ordinary CO measurements. For example, if the oxygen level in the flue gas is 10%, the air-free CO reading would be approximately twice the measured value. We recommend that you calibrate your Explorer as frequently as possible and at least every 30 days. If your company requires more frequent calibration, you can adjust the built-in reminder accordingly. You do not need to have a filter attached to perform a calibration. Turn the unit on and, when prompted, block the intake. After you receive the Pump OK message, the Calibrate By screen will appear. You must be ready to quickly press the right button under the word CAL, because this option will only appear for about 4 seconds unless the Explorer is overdue for calibration. If it is overdue, then the Calibration Overdue screen will appear and stay visible until either you override it by pressing the left button or initiate a calibration by pressing the right button. After pressing the CAL button, the Explorer will display the message, "Please ensure clean air." Press the left button under the word Yes to initiate the auto zero needed prior to calibration. The Explorer will display Running Auto Zero in Clean Air for approximately 25 seconds, and then display the Auto Zero Successful message. At this point, you see the words Dock and ACAL at the bottom of the screen. First, we'll calibrate the Explorer without using a docking station. Once the Auto Zero Successful screen appears, press the button on the right under ACAL. After pressing the ACAL button, you will be prompted to Connect Calibration Gas. The Explorer should be calibrated using 2 gases: Bascom-Turner's calibration gas, which consists of 2.5% methane, 100 ppm CO with a balance of air, and with 100% methane or system gas. Each gas is introduced separately. Preferably, 100% methane or system gas is used first. Attach the Explorer to your source of gas. If you are not using a demand regulator, make sure that the valve is turned on and press the left button under the word Yes. The Explorer will display the word Calibrating while the sensors are being calibrated. When finished, the display will show Calibration OK and reveal confirmation readings for the gas used to calibrate, in this case 100% gas. Now, to calibrate with CalGas, disconnect the 100% methane or system gas, then press the left button under the word Cal. Connect the CO methane CalGas, and press the left button marked Yes to run the calibration. Once you have finished calibrating all of the sensors, press the right button under the letters MON to display sensor gains. Sensor gains are used to predict the remaining life of the sensors. From here, press MON again to switch to the monitor mode, where you may start using the instrument or turn it off. Now we'll calibrate the Explorer using a docking station. Once the Auto Zero Successful screen appears, press the left button under the word Dock. You will see the message Dock Connection by USB. Connect the adapter block Quick Connect to the inlet of the Explorer and turn it so that the inlet fitting on the adapter is aligned with the port on the NCAL dock. Plug the small USB connector into the USB port on the left side of the Explorer handle. Upon connecting the cable to the Explorer, the message Insert Detector into Dock will appear on the screen. It is important to connect the USB cable to the detector before inserting the detector into the dock. Insert the Explorer into the dock by placing the Explorer adapter on the dock and sliding it forward so that the inlet fitting inserts into the port. Shortly after, You will see confirmation on the monitor that the calibration process has begun, along with flashing of the Dock and Explorer LEDs. The model number, serial number, date, and time will all be displayed. From this point, the calibration process will proceed automatically. Indications of gases being dispensed will also appear on the monitor. At the end of the docking process, you will receive a confirmation message that calibration has been completed successfully. You are then instructed to remove the Explorer from the dock and unplug the USB cable. The Explorer display will show Cal passed, and you should then press the right button under the word Off. Data link software is used for downloading and storing readings and calibration data from your Explorer. To install the data link software, follow the instructions that came with your installation CD. In order to connect the Explorer with data link, you must first place the instrument in USB connection mode. Shortly after turning the Explorer on, you will see the acronym USB in the lower left corner of the screen. Press the left button and in a few seconds, the screen will show PC connection by USB. Connection to your PC is done using a USB-A to USB Mini-B 5-pin cable. Insert the USB Mini-B end into the plug on the Explorer, and the USB-A end into an empty USB plug on your PC. There should be a confirmation that a device has been connected, usually the Windows Device Connection sound. The first time an Explorer is plugged into a PC, you may see a pop-up message near the bottom right of your PC screen indicating that a device has been recognized. It may also say that software is being installed. If so, simply wait until it says that it has finished, and then you may proceed. With Data Link open, click on the Readings button beneath the Download section header. On the Download Readings screen, you may choose to download all readings or readings from a specific date range. Downloading all readings can sometimes take up to 5 minutes. Specifying a limited date range can make the downloading much faster. Follow the instructions on the screen as they appear, making sure that the Explorer is connected to the PC, and the downloading will begin. During downloading, the LEDs on the Explorer will flash, indicating that the process is taking place. When finished, the LEDs will stop flashing and the readings will appear in the table in the center of the screen. You may also wish to download calibration data in Data Link. If so, the instructions are very similar to the readings data download instructions. Click the Calibration button beneath the Download section header. On the Download Calibration Data screen, your choices are simple. Select Download all calibration data by clicking on it, and you will be asked to confirm that the Explorer is connected. During downloading, the LEDs will again flash until the process is finished. This is usually much quicker than readings downloads. Calibration data will immediately appear in the window on your screen. Reports may be viewed and printed from the Reports section of Data Link. Please refer to the Data Link instructions in your operating manual for a detailed description of available reports. The Explorer is a remarkably trouble-free instrument due to the automated routines that it goes through during startup. However, there are a few error messages that should be mentioned. The message "No Go" is displayed when you attempt to zero the Explorer in a gaseous atmosphere. Remove the instrument to clean air and attempt to re-zero. The message "Run New Filament Routine" indicates that the methane sensor is in need of a full 2-gas calibration. Instructions for this process are given later. The message "Replace Methane Sensor" indicates that the methane sensor is no longer functional and must be replaced. Similar messages appear for CO and oxygen sensors. Contact Bascom-Turner for a replacement sensor. To replace any sensor in your Explorer, you will need to do the following. Remove the batteries from the Explorer. Using a 5/8 inch wrench, remove the inlet filter and washer. Remove the 6 Phillips head case screws. Separate the top from the case by gently lifting it. Remove the 2 Phillips head screws holding in the circuit board. Loosen the board by wiggling it slightly, then gently lift it out, taking care not to twist or flex it. Locate the sensor to be changed on the underside of the circuit board. If you are replacing the CO sensor, you will need to remove the shorting spring from the CO sensor first. To replace the methane sensor in your Explorer, unplug the old sensor and set it aside. Plug in the new sensor. Verify that the methane sensor is plugged into its socket. The socket is polarized and will only accept the methane sensor plug in the correct orientation. Verify that the black gaskets are still in place in the sensor block and carefully replace the circuit board. With the circuit board in place, check that no methane sensor wires will be caught between the board and case. Replace the 2 circuit board retaining screws. Replace the Explorer cover and case screws. Replace the inlet filter and batteries. You will now need to run a new filament routine. The new filament routine is required whenever a new sensor is installed in an Explorer or a current sensor needs a full 2-gas calibration using 100% methane or system gas and Bascom-Turner's methane CO calibration gas. To run this routine, power on the Explorer, and as soon as the pump is heard, press the right and center buttons within 1 second of each other. This will cause the Explorer to enter the Setup menu. Using the right button, scroll down in the menu until the pointer is beside the words New Filament. Now, press the left button marked Yes. The Explorer display will show New Filament requires full 2-gas calibration and offer the option to turn the Explorer off if you do not wish to proceed. To continue with the routine, press the left button beneath the word Yes. The words New Filament will appear at the top of the display, and the word Run will appear in the bottom left corner. Place the Explorer on a desk or tabletop so that it will remain still and press the left button. A temperature will appear on the display for several seconds accompanied by the message, "Please wait." Shortly, the word Continue will appear in the bottom left corner. Press the left button. The Explorer will start running a new filament auto zero, and then it will restart with the typical startup procedure. When prompted on the display, block the Explorer's intake. The message New Filament requires full 2-gas calibration will appear for a second time on the Explorer display. Press the left button beneath the word Yes. The Explorer will ask you to please ensure clean air. Press the left button beneath the word Yes to proceed. The display will show Running Auto Zero in Clean Air for several seconds. When Auto Zero Successful appears on the display, you will be given the choice to either dock or ACAL the Explorer. For those with docking stations, press the left button and proceed as you typically would when calibrating on the dock. 2 docking cycles are required for a new filament routine. After the first docking cycle completes, the Explorer will prompt you to turn it back on and run another docking cycle. For those wishing to ACAL, press the right button and you will be prompted to connect system gas first. Complete calibration as usual, first using 100% methane or system gas, and then Bascom-Turner cal gas. Once you have completed calibration with both gases, press the right button beneath the word MON to enter the monitor mode, or turn the Explorer off. This completes the new filament routine. We hope you have found this video useful and informative. Remember that we are always available by phone at 1-800-225-3298. We also have a support section on our website, which includes technical and application notes and allows you to download electronic copies of our manuals and short guides.